Did you have Mr. Hershaft?
Mr. Hershaft for science, and Al Wood, who was the math teacher, and I can remember.
And that woman principal?
I don't remember any woman principal. We had Mr. Hershaft.
Oh, he was the principal?
He became principal, and I think Mr. Wood was, but I'm a little confused about whether he was then or when our kids who went to the school were attending.
Mr. Hershaft was with the system for a long time.
Mr. Wood told us that we better be prepared to recite the quadratic equation when we cross the stage to get our diplomas. Because Mr. Ramey was sure to ask us, and if we didn't know the quadratic equation, we might not get our diplomas.
Be able to go on to high school.
And, well, we
scary.
didn't know whether he was kidding or not. And I remember struggling to remember the thing. It was something all over 2a square.
Oh, you remember the bottom.
I remember the denominator, but what in the world you did with the quadratic equation, I have no idea. I was an
this day.
English major in college. Never had occasion to use the quadratic equation. But
You successfully completed ninth grade.
I got through, and we took the trolley down to, I chose to go to classical. And I remember the trolley driver was a fellow named Dutchy. And Dutchy swung down Pecousic Hill and, of course, up Long Hill and down Fort Pleasant, Main Street, and then we would
You get off at State and Main, right?
Pardon me?
You get off at State and Main?
I don't remember whether we got off there or whether it turned up, but it didn't last throughout World War II because the tracks were ripped up somewhere in there. I heard one of your other guests talking about Mr. Ryder and the dancing.
Oh, Myron Ryder. Did you take dancing lessons?
Oh, everybody had to take the dancing lessons.
But did you take them for years and years?
Well,
somehow I thought it was like a 6-week class.
No longer than we had to.
Oh, you didn't like it that much?
But I can still remember him. He had a pair of castanets, and he would click those to summon his wife to demonstrate how.
And it worked.
How you were supposed to execute the tango or whatever we were learning, and it was one of the rites of passage, and it was.
How old were you when you took those lessons? You don't remember? Was it junior high or high school?
You tend to forget the things that
you don't want to remember.
not all that happy experience, but in any
Still
case.
have a bad feeling about castanets?
Well, I wasn't summoned by castanets,
no, I know, but still, associated with
it seemed like sort of a crazy way to treat one's wife, but she apparently was used to it, so that was their business.
That's right, that's right.
In any case, but we were not really, or I was not really aware of a lot of the growth of Longmeadow because I was off after high school.
Right.
in college.
Where'd you go?
I went to Yale, and 4 years down there, great experience, and worked during summers and so on. So I was not here during that period.
Oh no, that was much later.
Expansion.
Post-war.
But
boom.
I did remember Turner Park because in high school we would go out there and there was some mention of pitchers of beer.
Yes,
and
you heard of that?
I can remember taking part in consumption of
in
same.
high school.
Well,
Oh, possibly you were of age. Yeah.
I don't
21
know.
at classical.
I don't know that I'd heard about the legal age of 21, but I do remember that Gene Kreiner, who was the host of the Turnverein, Turner Park,
What's that
had
last name?
Kreiner, Kreiner, and he, with the band, had a drinking song called Schnitzelbank, and this had
You're about to teach the younger generation a whole
this had a
drinking
large poster that he pulled down. It was sort of on a shade roller, and it had objects on it. And one of them was a broom, and he would point to this and say, "Ist das ist ein Besenstiel," which is, I guess, German for broom. And then everybody would say, "Ja, das ist ein Besenstiel."
I think I remember this song.
And everybody would sing, "I do schöne Schnitzelbank," and then he would go to the next item, and so on. Well, it was great fun. I'm sure they sold a lot of beer in the process, but that was one of the high spots of Longmeadow recreation after.
Well, you know, I think before your time, Longmeadow had a beer factory. Right?
Well, I don't remember any.
No, it's before your time.
Before my.
I know you know a lot about Longmeadow history, but I think there was a beer factory down where, right around the dip. You know what I mean?
Well,
never mind. Anyway.
In any case, the one thing I do remember in terms of recreational, and this is a healthy one, there was a toboggan chute in Forest Park, just off Forest Glen Road. And if you know
where the roads are, yeah.
If you know that landscape, there's a very deep dip down to where the duck ponds and all were.
I know that well.
And this toboggan chute was there, and when the weather got cold, people would pour water down it to
make it nice and
freeze
slippery.
it and make it just as slick. And when the toboggan went down that thing, it was like a rocket. And I guess I don't remember any accident when I was going down it, but I think they finally had to shut it down because it really was dangerous.
Well, there's ponds on either side. If you lose control of but otherwise you go straight across. Yeah,
well,
but I can see. Yeah.
It was an awesome experience. So that was part of Longmeadow growing up, and then we when I'm saying we, my wife and I, whom I met in northern New York when I was there stationed in the service. After we were married, we came back to this area, and we began our married life together in Springfield, then in Agawam, and then we
Got
moved
serious.
moved to Long Meadow and lived variously on Belclair and then on Farmington. And our kids were involved in the Long Meadow schools and going to Bliss Park and playing ball at Stropel Field. And so it was a wonderful community to
Raise
kids, and there was a lot going on and plenty of opportunity to volunteer, and I guess we did our share of that along the way. One of the real privileges was chairing the town's observance of the national bicentennial celebration.
Yes, in 76.
In 75 and 76, and working with Doug Burt to have the militia organized, and Wally Sturdivant, who designed the town seal that is now on all the street signs
And letterhead and everything, yes.
and remarkable
Now,
individual.
was the 76 celebration the beginning of Long Meadow Days?
Well, we did a number of interesting things that I guess may have inspired or been springboards to what Long Meadow Days ultimately became. One of the things I remember on the night of the 4th of July under 76, under Charlie Wilkinson's directive, the entire green was illumined by luminarios. These were paper bags filled with lighted candles, and it was just an awe-inspiring sight to see that.
It's hard to believe, but our half hour is coming to an end. But before we end, I went to classical too, and I wonder if you remember the motto.
No one has the right to do that which, if everyone did it, would destroy society. Yeah, at least I remembered that. Forget about the quadratic equation.
Did you have Ed Smith for English?
Yes, indeed.
No wonder you went to. Wasn't he great?
So,
and he had all those hastily eating our lunch, the steamboat pulled away, and all those onomatopoeia. He was just wonderful. Oh, it's been such a pleasure. It goes fast, doesn't it?
It sure does.
And thank you so much for being with us again. It was fun as always.